Hey there, folks. Ben Farrell for Ben Farrell Freelance. This is episode 11, and this week we are giving an editing tip, which I call color-coded editing. Hey there, Ben Farrell for Ben Farrell Freelance. This week we're talking about color-coded editing. Now, obviously the editing process is very important, and anytime I've written something, I always like to edit it while it's printed out on paper. For some reason, I don't catch as many typos or have as many ideas when I'm looking at a PDF on my devices. When I've printed it out on paper, for some reason I catch so much more. What I'll also do is keep a printed copy of what I'm working on in the car with me, so that way I have it with me all the time. And if I'm picking up the kids from dance classes or picking them up from school, then I can just pull it out and work on it while I'm waiting. So if you go back a couple of weeks and you see the episode I did on first draft to second draft, let's say you have your second draft already printed out. What I do is I grab a bunch of Flair pens of multiple colors or a bunch of colored pencils. And when I'm looking at what I've written, I look at it as if I'm being paid to edit somebody else's project. When I go to start editing, I look at every page as if there's got to be something, that there was some sort of typographical error or some line of dialogue that needs to be changed or added or omitted. Every page has something that has to be corrected. The reason for using different colored pens is because I use a different color depending on what I'm actually editing. So once I'm in the right mindset, what I do is I take the infamous red pen, and I take the red pen and I go through my entire script only looking for typographical errors, where there should be capitals or no caps, spacing issues, misspellings, anything like that. Why do I use a red pen? Because when I see red on the page, when I go back to actually type in my revisions, I know exactly what that's referring to. Next up, what I do is I take a blue pen and I make only simple changes to dialogue, just different ways to say things using a different word here and there. That is it for blue. So after that, I use a green pen to work on my expositions. So if there's any changes with my expositions, then I use a green pen to make those changes. And what I do is I specifically look for ways to cut words out, cut out sentences, make it more concise so that people can get right to the dialogue. Remember, I'm a playwright, so it's very dialogue driven. Lastly, I use a purple pen to make any changes or notes on the page that has anything to do with changing any major dialogue, adding characters, or any major beats to my plot line. So if I decide a character needs to come in and do something serving for that scene, or if I decide a joke that I wrote is better served in another scene, that's where I make that note. That way, when I go to type in my third draft, I already know what all my notes refer to. Lastly, what I do when I'm typing in the changes for my third draft, what I do is I take a black pen and I put a diagonal line, just a single diagonal line across the page that I just got done making the changes. Let's face it, life gets in the way. So with me putting a line through the page I just got done typing in changes, then it lets me know where I finished off. So when I come back to it after I've been pulled away to be dad again, I know exactly where I finished. So this is my color-coded editing process. It works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Come up with your own, but just make it something formal. Just know that this part of the process is just as important as any other part of the writing process. So you should have some sort of formality when it comes to editing what you've done. So this is Ben Farrell for Ben Farrell Freelance. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hey there, folks. As promised, we have a new contest period for the next 2 months. For this contest, what I'd like you to do is write a 3-sentence story to go along with the photo that I'm about to show you.
And this photo is really weird.
Okay, so send in your 3-sentence story to go along with that picture, and all the entries will be put into a raffle, and if your name is drawn in that raffle, you'll get a free copy of one of my stage plays. Which stage play are we going to offer this time?
Deadly Intentions.
Deadly Intentions. It's the only musical I've ever written. It's actually very funny, and if you want to learn a little bit more about it, where can they go?
BennFarrellWriter.com.
BennFarrellWriter.com. So that's it. Go ahead and get those entries in. I appreciate you hanging out with us. This is Ben Farrell for Ben Farrell Freelance.
And stay safe and keep watching our videos.
Keep watching those videos.
Bye.